Hey guys, it's Adam. I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to go over the ES chart. Just notice how price reached our targets. I actually did a video on Twitter this morning. I'm going to add the same video towards the end of this video here. So if you did not see that, either go on Twitter or just skip to the end in the notes down below. So I'm not going to go over the whole morning session trade within this video. I'm going to go over more just a general price action because I really went in depth in that video towards the end of it. So go ahead and watch that if you want. But anyways, let's look into projections at first. As always, we came into this weekly BISI right here. So there's fair value gap that was right here. We ended up trading up on into this range up above these highs. So our targets were met. We can possibly get some more expansion tomorrow. We do have the Fed speaking tomorrow. Based on the economy, so that could either give us an expansion or a sell side back down into the middle of the range, back down into here. So I'm going to keep my eyes open tomorrow. No real bias at this point. I don't know what's going to happen. I would want to see some consolidation in this range. We'll just see what happens tomorrow. Honestly, whatever opportunity presents, I'll take it. You know, we're on opportunity schedule. Opportunity is not on my schedule. I got to submit to that. But anyways, price ended up leaving this area, leaving this whole consolidation range from this 4-hour breaker here. Then we traded up on in. We finally got some expansion. Then we had continuation today as we expected. So as we talked about this morning, based on the video that I posted on Twitter too, and I also did a recording myself personally, but I was looking at this 12-hour fair value gap that was right here. We traded down on in and we started trading away. So once we see these areas met, we can look for possible expansion. And notice how NASDAQ here on the right did not reach down in there on the 12-hour. So if you are trading, not financial advice, but if you're trading, look at the 12-hour candles and look at the 4-hour candles and look at them in correlation with the other indices. So look over here at NASDAQ, higher low. Over here on ES, lower low. Tapped into a fair value gap and started trading away. So where's our near side target? These highs. We've been looking at these highs for a while now. It used this range, this gap here as a form of support to then eventually break out of it. So then we targeted these highs up within here. So now let's go down to the 5-minute time frame based on what we saw at market open. Go watch the video if you want. I said it a few times, but go watch the video if you want so you can get a really in-depth picture of the live analysis from this morning. Today was the 18th, where price started trading away from this range within here. We traded up on in, used this 5-minute gap here as a form of support, traded up on in, and then down in the 1-minute time frames is really where I talked about how we used the 8:30 open, which would be right here, this blue line, as a form of support to then lift price off, and also this breaker here that we called out live to target this high up within here and also this high within here, and then these relative equal highs here, and then we just kept expanding. And then we used this BISI here on the 1 minute around the 10:27 time frame. After this BISI was tapped in, this volume imbalance actually had no bodies closed down below it. So this was another form of entry because our ultimate target was this new week opening gap that was right here. These lines right here. So that's new week opening gap, and also the 1-hour SIBI, which is this red box that's up here within this range. We trade up on in, so it creates another drive, a 1, 2, 3. I call it the 1, 2, 3 divergence move. It's just something that I've always called it myself, but then I start seeing other people and even some ICTs talking about the 3 drives pattern. So that's 3 drives to the high, starts to shift back down into this range again, comes back down to the new week opening gap. Look how clean this price action is. Comes on up in, boom, trades right back down into the new week opening gap as we see right here. Leaves the new week opening gap with, I believe, SMT. I believe I saw SMT. Yep, so this 5-minute made this low, but over on ES, it made a higher low within the new week opening gap with taking liquidity, with an overall uptrend, bullish movement with higher time frame targets as well. And NASDAQ also had these higher time frame targets on the weekly. That's these levels here if you want to mark those up on your chart. That's these red lines. Anyways, you might be wondering where could the entries be? It's basically what's your analysis. Personally, looking at price action here, going into the lunch hour, we trade down on in, and after 1 o'clock we start to get our movement up on in. We start to get our market structure shift. And I know we had SMT with YM, so now we have a market structure shift. We have this fair value gap here. We also have this volume imbalance to then take price up on in above this short-term high, up into this new week opening gap here, which would be the short-term target, and then eventually it reached back up into here, but it had to trade back down below these relative equal lows into the new week opening gap, down within here, accumulation. So what's the trading plan? It's always like liquidity taken. Okay, cool. Liquidity is taken here. Where is it at? A higher time frame PD array, which would be the new week opening gap within a discount, within the discounted range from this low to this high. So you can even draw a fib on it. From this low to this high, up within here. Put 50% on, just the average. We just want to look below the 50%, below the 50%. So it's in a discount, deep discount right here. We shift our market structure up above here. We start trading down. Another shift up on in. If we get a nice 2-minute candle closure within this range, this could either be another confirmation for another retest here. So I like any of this, and these are like high probability levels as well because there's no wicks on these levels here. So these would act as a form of a, basically like a breaker, I guess you'd say, right within here and right within here. And honestly, those retests. I do like entries like that as well, where they start to trade away, they start to retest these levels. And then if you can get SMT with another indice, that'd be even better. So if you're looking here, this made this low here, this made a higher low, so not really SMT on that one. But since we had SMT at these lows, that's completely fine. So we made that higher low here, but we made the lower low here, and we break up on in, and we start to retest it. Boom, so it's trading away. Where are the higher time frame PD arrays to go target for liquidity? Relative equal highs here. There's a fair value gap here, and there's also above these highs into this fair value gap here, and then we just completely rip on through. Completely rip on through. We trade up on in, we pull back down in our 315 to 345 macro. We start to trade away within this range. As you can tell, start to trade away, retest down on in, go to the 2-minute. I believe the volume imbalance is on the 2-minute. So I remember I was at the dentist getting my filling, and I was looking at the dentist waiting in the waiting room, just like, all right, what's happening? And we had this volume imbalance act as a form of support at this time, and then it started trading way up into the higher time frame PD array that we had up within here. So that was pretty clear, in my opinion, for another movement up higher to target up within here. So it's just seeing it every single day, looking at price action, what is it doing? You know what I mean? So premium, discount, so higher time frame PD array, looking at drawing liquidity, and then you're just getting in sync with order flow. That's really every single confirmation out there. And then the entry can be easier. You know what I mean? Where's the money going? It's basically what we're doing. Not financial advice, but if you guys have any questions, take it easy. Love y'all. Peace out. S on the left, NASDAQ on the right. I like to buy right at the market open because notice how we made the lower low here, but the higher low here. On the higher time frame, we had the bullish SMT right here as well, which gave us our expansion from here at the market open, which gave us a confident signal that price at the market open was going to start trading up higher. So right from here, go 20 points. We're just about 20 points. Hit 20 points to the dot, but we'd go to the 830 open and then up above this liquidity, which we just tapped. But overall, we do want to see higher expansion up above these highs. I'd expect this fair value gap here to offer some type of support to bring price up into the higher part of these ranges, up into this new week opening gap that we have here. So all these levels with the dates. So you see the 414, 416. So the 414 is a Friday, 416 is a Sunday open. And this would be the new week opening gap as a potential draw on liquidity. You'll see them everywhere. There's more up here. If we do go bullish, I'd want to see these price ranges met up there. But if we can break up above, like I said, break up above, get some closures above this inversion right here, and we use this as a form of support, or even the high of this 15-minute gap as a form of support, we could possibly keep trading up higher. If we start to break up above here, so notice how you're on the new day. Here, I'm going to pull this one up on this screen. The new day opening gap is right here. We're closing here in 30 seconds. So we want to see if these equal highs are going to be target, and then we can target up to this high up within here, and then also these relative equal highs within this range. Because on the 5-minute time frame on the left, we have this high and this high, and then we have the 830 open from when the news came out today. So we could look for the 830 open to be met. We're trading up on in right now. Very nice. Very nice delivery to the high of the new week opening gap. Closure right on the new week opening gap high. We're pulling back down on in, and now it's near sight right here. These relative equal highs to be traded to, because there's stop orders above here, and then the 830 open has a lot of liquidity from when the news came out. So those big banks can like break even those orders that they had. So now we're seeing an energetic displacement in price action 30 seconds, we have this candle closure for the 2 minute. And I would like to see some hesitation within price. And we could possibly use this breaker to catapult price up on in to the higher part of this breaker range. And even on the 1 hour, if this really wants to hold, we could even start setting higher throughout the rest of the day and leave those lows. Or we can just start hesitating within here because we do have the big high impact news tomorrow. So we're going to see if we can use this as a breaker to send price up higher. And now we have a bullish order block from right here. Boom, boom. 5 handles up to this high within here. That could be an easy 5 handles from here, from the breaker, up to the 30, up to here, 5 handles. So our 5 handle target was just met within this range. So as you can tell, 5 handles from this breaker was just met right here. And now we could also look for another possible 10 handles if we do want to keep expanding in this range. So we want to see if this inefficiency would want to hold price action here, as well as this volume imbalance within this range. So be looking at this volume imbalance right there, as well as see if that wants to support it, as well as this BISI. We could tap down into these ranges. And if we do get down into these ranges at all, we'd want at least 5 handles up to the new week opening gap. So anywhere from here to here, but you'd want to minimize your risk to down below here. It's about 3 handles. Maybe use this as a breakaway gap. This gap down below here. So we did just tap down on in here, but we'll see. So now we're making a higher high. We want to see if this wants to continue to make the higher high as well. Notice how the bodies here close at this volume imbalance. Notice that. Keep that in mind. Same here on NASDAQ. This volume imbalance tapped down on in, came back up on in. Bodies closed on in here. Bodies closed here. Traded up on in. Traded back to this high, and now we are continuing to gravitate towards higher pricing. As we're about just to hit this new week opening gap. As well, we had that bullish SMT with YM. Want to see the new week opening gap? And the new week opening gap high met. 5 handles met right there. From the close of this right here, the open of here. So you're asking me, after this wick down, close back down into here, we'd have this PD array, the BISI, to be broken, this level here to be broken, and there we go. Trade right up on in. Tap the SIBI. So freaking nice, as expected. All right, so 5 handles. Very clean price delivery by using the SMT divergence, the breaks, the closures, and seeing what price wants to do. So it was a very clear day based on looking at this inversion and this time distortion within here, and then finally started to trade away after the 10:10 macro. So 10:06, 10:08, traded away. Hit this area as we were expecting for 5 handles from this breaker. Traded back down on in. Used a 5-minute gap within here for a form of support. Right there. Traded up on in, a bullish 5-minute closure. But on the 2-minute, that bullish 2-minute closure showing willingness of price to reach towards higher time frame PD arrays, which would be up above this high, up into the new week opening gap as we have mentioned up in here. So the 1-minute time frame, we pulled back down on in, came back on up within there. So clear 830 entry on the top of this range here after that closure, just pulling back down on in, to then pull back up, breaking away from this area using the breakaway gap within here, as I was mentioning, and this volume imbalance, looking for this volume imbalance to hold price action. And we came down on in, came back up, closure, came in here, and now we're just looking at this area to see if it wants to hold price. Price trades up above, trades down, and then reaches up towards this area as well. So once it started leaving away here, we'd even be looking at this area for a potential entry, targeting up to the NWOG low, NWOG high, and also our draw on liquidity for the SIBI up here on the 1 hour that we were mentioning from up here, as you can tell. So that area was met, clear as day, and now could possibly just expect some consolidation around this new week opening gap in the SIBI.